Jason Williams, white chocolate, that used to play for the Sacramento Kings.
Jason Williams! Oh, boy!
Williams has eyes in the back of his head.
Oh, my goodness, that was vintage!
Why do people act like he was good?
Because of the teams that he played for. He played for Sacramento. He played for Miami, but most people know him for Sacramento. The teams that he played with, he fit in just like a glove. Like you think about all the other people who played for that Sacramento team. You think about Peja, Doug Christie, you think about Mike Bibby. You think about all these players and you're just like, man, he was around greats. He was around people who also played good and he was flashy. Out of all those players that I just named, he might have been the flashiest one. So he is the one that people kind of have this idea of, all right, because a lot of times flash in a lot of people's eyes means that they're doing good. Just because you're flashy doesn't always mean you're great. It just means you look good doing whatever you're doing.
And I give him credit for that.
Jason Williams looked very good.
He did. He looks cool when he was doing his plays and shit. But people for real be talking on the internet like he was like that. I'm like, you mentioned Mike Bibby. Nobody talks about Mike Bibby. Do you think Jason Williams is even in Mike Bibby's league? He's not even in his league. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming up on the old point guards, like Nick Van Exel is shitting on this guy. No one talks about Nick Van Exel. Steve Francis is shitting on this guy. Nobody talks about Steve Francis. Like, people talk about this guy like he can hoop.
I've never seen that. I've never seen people actively talking about Jason Williams like that. Now I know for a fact, I'm guaranteed to see that highlight clip of him doing all the passes at least once a year. I'm guaranteed to see that clip float on my timeline. But outside of that, I'd never hear about Jason Williams.
I see him. He be on the with Matt Barnes and them giving takes. He like literally be talking. And when I go look at the comments, everybody be like, man, you don't know about him. He was like that. He was like that. I'm like, he wasn't like that. All he does is turn the ball over and he's an inefficient shooter. I'm like, this dude was not cold.
You know what? Relevancy and recency bias is what it is. Because if he's popping up more on things, because you know what? I did see him on the podcast with Udonis Haslem. So like, yeah, if you're in the media eye and people have reason to talk about you, they're going to highlight your highlights. I think that's what we're seeing happen. It's just recency bias. People are like, oh, that's Jason Williams. I remember when he used to do this. And when he used to do that, it was cool as fuck.
For sure. I remember the move.
That's what I think
he did some kind of dribble move and he left somebody at the 3-point line and did a floater. He did the behind the back elbow pass that Halliburton did in the All-Star game. I'm like, yo, he deserved credit for being cool and dope and flashy and on some and one type of shit. But when people try to act like he was like hooping, I'm like, I'm confused, bro. Like, he was not hooping. He was okay.
I've never heard of that, but I'm not surprised that that's just something that happens because he's popping up a lot more frequently.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Shout out to Jay Will. Shout out to White Chocolate, man.